Good morning, everyone. Now, in this class, we're going to further the information that we have done so far, and we've discussed the different types of writing, like creative writing, informative writing, persuasive writing, descriptive writing, all these forms of composition writing. The next type of composition writing that we are going to do is expository writing. Now, what is an expository writing? Children, you have to remember that expository writing is similar to informative writing, in which you give a lot of data, you give a lot of information. Okay, it is fact based, it's not imagination based. Okay, you don't have to just cater to the needs of imagination, or you don't have to just tax your brain about the thinking process, taking your putting your creative faculty to work. Rather, apart from the imagination, here information in a written form is important. So expository writing or expository compositions are those wherein you use information in written form. So again, just like informative writing, informative composition, there will be facts, there will be figures, there will be data, there will be statistics, but everything in written form. Okay, so that is expository writing. Let's move ahead to the next slide. Now the question comes that when you have some composition to write in front of you. Suppose you've been given a topic to say something upon it, an extempore or maybe a jam or maybe a written composition that needs to be done. So the question come, as you can see in the figure, that there are people, there are students sitting with their scratching their heads, what to write, how to start, how to begin, what should be the content of your speech or the content of your composition. How do we start with it? So here, children, it's not a big deal. It's very easy. Composition writing can be divided into three parts. Okay, like when you are writing any form of composition, whether it's creative composition or it's an informative composition or it's an analytical composition or expository composition, whatever the composition is, whatever kind of topic you have, it needs to be divided in three parts. Okay, for example, even if it's a creative composition, you will have an introductory part of it, you will have the body of it, and you will have the conclusive elements in it. Okay, if you can see in the next slide, a short composition will have three main parts. The first part is that of introduction. Then the body represents the inner elements, okay? The facts, the information, the data, the whereabouts of the topic spoken, okay? And the next is the conclusive one, okay? So just like an essay writing, just like a speech or an article writing, the first part is whatever your topic is. The first thing we need to do in any composition is we need to introduce the topic. Say, for example, if your composition is about, um, say, suppose it can be any topic. If your composition is about illiteracy or rising illiteracy in India, or the degrading quality of education in India, or the problems of brain drain out of India, okay, in India. So the first thing that we need to do is introduce the topic. So when I say brain drain in India, the first introductory part of it says that you need to explain the word brain drain. What do you understand by brain drain? What brain drain actually is? Okay, so brain drain is the process wherein people of a nation who are educated in their native land, taking our own education, studying in their own country, but because of some, say, professional difficulties, or they're not able to secure a good job in the country, and because of which they go out of the country and serve other nations. So when people of India who have gotten their education from the schools in India, from colleges in India, And then further, when it comes to serving the nation, when it comes to doing the job here, to work here, to make a career here, they choose other nations. They migrate. They go to, say, US or UK or Canada or China or UAE, Dubai or whatever, any country. And when they are working in these countries, the learnings that they had in their own country, the things that they have learned in their own country, experiences that they have learned from their own country, all of that knowledge, all of that experience, everything that they have learned here will be used in the development of the other country. Their experience will be used by other nations. So it's not helping our country in any way. That's how our great minds, our great brains are drained and they are taken to the other parts of the world, benefiting these other nations. What is brain drain? So first you need to give an introduction of the topic. Then you come to the next point. The next thing is the body of your conversation. So suppose the same topic it is brain drain. So when you're talking about the body, you're going to talk about the reasons of brain drain. How much brain drain is happening? Why is it happening? What is it that the other nations are catering? What is it that the other places are providing that our young minds are flying outside? Okay, so the body. So if it is a problem, in case whatever your topic is, if it is a problem, you're going to talk about that problem. You're going to address that problem. You're going to discuss that problem with examples, with instances. Okay. And after discussing, then comes the last part of the conversation, that is conclusion. Conclusion always will give a solution. If it's not creative writing, if it is informative, if it's on a general issue, a social, political issue, you'll always end up giving solutions to problems. So in conclusion, we provide solution to whatever the problem is. Just if it is a creative writing process, there we are going to, wind it up or sum it up in a way that it pleases the audience. So that's how your conclusion should be. Okay, so this is going to be the three elements, essential elements, 3 points that build your composition, and it makes things easy for you. Okay, you divide your composition in three parts: the introduction, the body, and the conclusion, and that's how you go. Now, see, when we talk of introduction, in introduction, we're going to talk about the topic, the heading, the topic. Then we're going to summarize the main points in your introduction, and then you're going to give the thesis statement. That what is it that you are going to discuss in your composition. Okay, then the main body, supporting argument, second supporting argument, and the third supporting argument. That means that simply, main body, in the main body, you're going to describe the different elements in your composition. If it's problem, you're going to talk about the problem, you're going to discuss the data, the statistics, giving examples and all, relating it to general life, relating it to everyday life. Okay, and then last is conclusion. We're going to summarize things up and come to a solution to the problem. Okay? So that's how you write a composition. Now, see, children, the next type of composition that we have is picture composition. Now, see, picture compositions are extremely interesting. They are enjoyable, rather. What happens in a picture composition is that you are provided with a picture in front of you. You have to very keenly, very minutely observe the picture, see each and everything that is present in the picture. Okay, and then from that picture, the first thing is you're going to get a primary meaning out of that picture. Primary meaning is the denotative meaning. Denotative refers to what the picture denotes, means what is the first meaning, the first primary meaning that the picture is giving. For example, when you see this picture in front of you, so you can see it's a park view. Okay, there's a tree, There are children, small kids who are sitting on the tree. There's a dog, there's a girl who's taken her dog out. There's a lady who's sitting on a bench and reading. There's children sitting on seesaw. So you see, it's a very beautiful, happy picture. Okay, so initially when you talk of the denotative meaning, it's an evening enjoyment picture. And if you see the secondary meaning, the connotative meaning, it shows happiness. It shows what peace looks like, what childhood looks like, what happiness looks like, what pleasure looks like. Okay, so you're going to talk about in picture composition. We're going to talk about the denotative meaning and the connotative meaning. Let's see another picture. Now see, this is another example of picture composition. You see, there are two boys. So first thing you do is you'll just take a glance at the picture nicely, properly. You'll observe each and everything. So there's a lady who's sitting with her maybe daughter or daughter-in-law. And there are kids who are playing. There's an old man, there's an old woman, they're all sitting. So probably it's a picnic scene. Okay, so they've come out on picnic because they have bed sheets spread on the ground and you know they are all they have smiles on their faces, they're playing, they're enjoying. Again, it's a picnic scene. Denotative meaning picnic, connotative meaning happiness, peace, relaxation. You know, when we were away, we were far off the madding crowd. We were far away from the bustling and hustle bustle of the city. Okay, we used to find times for ourselves. So that's what the picture is denoting here. When people had time for themselves, how life looks like before. Okay, so that is what this picture composition is about. Let's take the next picture. See, this is another picture. A festival is being celebrated. Unity, unity, cultural representation. This is Diwali scene. Okay, the father is helping the child and the daughter, fire or light, what do you call it, the lighting stick, the fuljari. Mother is standing with diyas in her hand. There are other family members too. So it is a representative of Indian culture, the celebrations that we have. So you can go on and on and on by say, exploring the picture in a nice way. Now the question comes to you that when you get a composition, when you get a composition to read, how do you read and find out meaning in that composition? Okay, this we will be doing shortly. Okay, for now we'll wind up here and thank you so much everyone.